to get right back to this line that we're seeing crossing over the Mississippi River. There are multiple severe thunderstorm warnings in yellow. That means winds 58 miles an hour or greater, hail an inch or more in diameter, and then multiple tornado warnings, which means that a tornado is imminent or it is occurring. And we want to go from north to south of this. And we've been watching this cell where we did see some potential dropout with this, some potential debris signature on one of our radars when it was back a little bit farther west. But we do have very strong winds. Look at that wind just pushing into this line here, and you can get tornadoes to spin up in that way. And so we're just watching right in this tornado warning because you're seeing very strong winds. And what can happen is you get the winds to push out on these lines, and you can get a tornado to spin up from that. And so that's something that we're going to continue to watch here, potentially with the rotation that we see in that cell. It's just north of Memphis. Now, as we go a little bit farther south, Cleveland, Drew, and Ruville, we are all under a tornado warning. Everything's moving off to the northeast. We see some broad rotation going on with this one, but remember that these systems, they cycle through so they can be broad and then they tighten up. And real quick, our last cell, this one right here, you see how there's a little dry slot coming in?
Yep.
That could save Chicago because they could clean up from that before the next comes in. But then after, when that comes in, it's just going to be getting plastered for hours. Then we got to talk about the cold behind this. Today, it's sinking in, and by Tuesday, 247 million will be below average. Look at our temperatures right now. You can see our warm front that is nosing its way northbound. Chicago's still in that warmer air. Single digits, Wichita into Omaha. Wind chills are already at 30 below. There's 60 and 70 below in Canada where this cold air is originating from. Look at that. 60 and 70. I can't even fathom what that feels like. The coldest I've ever felt was 26 below, and we were getting frostbite. You know, you can get frostbite very quickly in that. So that's the key, is that is sinking south. It obviously moderates as it comes south. But the problem is with our highs in the single digits and 20s all the way down into the south and record-breaking cold highs, frostbite is going to be a serious issue in the coming days. 1979, a very cold year, but it looks like we might break that. And places like Kansas City, where we could see a high of only 2 below. And of course, the wind chill warning goes into effect this evening in Kansas City, where temperatures will plummet in the wake of Winter Storm Jerry. Meteorologist Chris Warren live there this morning. Of course, football this weekend is what a lot of people are talking about. But Chris, yesterday, 32 degrees in Kansas City, and today only 20, and it only goes down from there.
Likely not getting above freezing, Steph, until maybe not.
And by the way, on the north side of this, we have Winter Storm Jerry intensifying, producing potential blizzard conditions for Chicago a little bit later today. It's been coming down. Ground stop at O'Hare has been extended until 9 a.m. And we got Jim. And Jim, I was looking at the radar. You might get a little lucky there, getting a little bit of a dry slot so they can clean some of this up before you get blasted again.
Yeah, and you know, Lakeshore's okay because we're going into the flash freeze. Siberia, I believe, is the nickname. Back to you,
That it is. And Jim, I vividly remember you and Bettis standing there and all the lightning going. I literally can still see it in my head.
That was nuts.
It was intense. Yes. All right. So, Jim, we're going to get back with you. We're going to get back with you. We want to talk about how this is going to cause rain and potentially flooding in the Northeast. It's not really a snow event for us, but flood watches from Massachusetts all the way down into Virginia. We've seen half a month's worth of rain in just the last 7 days. So adding another 1 to 2 inches on top of that is going to make matters worse. What I'm worried about, not only flooding and coastal issues, but the ground is saturated. You have all of these winds, all these wind advisories coming in, 40, 50 mile an hour winds. So with the ground being saturated, the winds, you know, and the trees, you could have some tree damage there. So we'll get 40, 50 miles an hour coming in overnight, and it will start to pull out as we head into our Saturday morning. But the lake effect will keep kicking in. So what will that mean for the Buffalo Bills, the Pittsburgh Steelers? We're going to find out coming up. The snow, the wind, and cold are definitely in play for the NFL's Super Wildcard Weekend, but which team will the weather favor? Nate Burleson with our partners at CBS joined me inside our virtual studio to break down if the Buffalo Bills or the Pittsburgh Steelers will have the advantage against Mother Nature. That was all Nate with the secret handshake. He's like, Abrams, we need a secret handshake, and we've got to have some weather in it as well. The snow or the rain coming down. All right, tomorrow the Kansas City Chiefs and the Miami Dolphins wildcard game could set records of one of the coldest NFL playoff games in history. That's where meteorologist Chris Warren is right now. And Chris, like the Taylor Swift song, are you ready for it?
Yesterday I did see some Miami Dolphins fans in town, and they are ready for it. But Steph, a couple of points here. We're talking dangerously cold temperatures. This is a huge, frigid, cold snap that's on the way, and what we're going to be